Hi, Julie. Hi, Samantha. Annalisa, can you do me a really big favor and go in the Sacred Society group and make a post and just tell them that they have to click the link, that it's not actually a live? Because I know that everyone was thinking that it was a live. Hi, Melissa. Thank you so much. Hi, Chanel. So excited for today. I'm waiting for Crystal. I have to see if she got the email for the panelist. Let me see. I think I might be able to do it another way. Oh wait, she's jumping on right now. So, hi Martha. Hi everyone. Hi Crystal. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for today. I'm excited to share you.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited to be here. I really am.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so there was some confusion in the group. Some people thought that I was just going to be going live, so I've asked one of my beautiful friends to go in there and let them know it's a link they have to click. So while we're
Okay.
waiting for everybody to jump on, we can just get connected. So if everyone would just tune into their heart space and just take a deep breath, and we just surround the space with the white light of divine love and call forth the angelic beings and all of our guides and angels to be with us. May we receive everything that we need today, and may we be able to guide you to a deeper understanding of yourself, your emotions, and life. And we say these things in the name of love. Amen. Crystal, thank you so much for being. So I just want to introduce you to everyone. Maybe you could give a little bit of your background so that people are familiar. So
Sure.
I found Crystal because I was doing a Google search for the vertex in the astrological chart. If you have not heard this story yet, this is how I found her. And I knew that I needed a new astrologist for my next course and also for myself. And so her information was just so profound. So I reached out and booked with her immediately, which I'm so glad I did, because I know you're not really doing personal sessions like that anymore. So I was like, got in just in time. And it was just blew my mind. Oh, I was also going to tell you, when I was looking at Crystal does predictive astrology as well as past life regression, linking to astrology, which are two of my favorite things among the other things that she does. But I was looking at my readout, that I had taken notes when our session was together, and you said on 12/20 you're going to break out of the norm and do something that pushes you out of your comfort zone. And on 12/21 is when I started doing the live group channeling. Like before I would just do it in session. And so and I look back, I was like, oh shit, that really did happen, So it's like, even though I know all this stuff, it's like, yeah, it does work and it is true and you can read the stars. And it's just when you see it, you're just like,
Yeah.
damn, it's so amazing.
The
So
magic, the magic.
yeah, it really is magic. So I'm really excited that I get to share you today to talk about the past life connection, the moon, and all of these things. And I was just telling my group yesterday about my session that I had with you when we did the past life connection, because I was talking
Yes.
about how I was always nervous about my son and something happening to him and fearing dying. And then when we go and do this past life regression, it was like immediate lifetime of my son was my brother who was killed, and I died an old lady, and then meeting Neptune, who explained to me what happened, and then realizing my Neptune is in Sagittarius in my chart. So it was
Yes.
like, whoa, my son is a Sagittarius. So it was just like so cool to make all these connections. And I'm glad
Yes.
that I get to share you with everyone. So if you want to let us know anything about you, then feel free.
Sure. No. And Randina, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here, to be working with all of you and to be a part of this, be a part of the energy. I grew up with astrology. My dad is an astrologer. I grew up, kind of, I didn't really read horoscopes like everybody does. I had my dad to pull out my chart. And when I was in my late 20s, I had my daughter, and she ended up being sick. And so my dad helped me she had seizures. So my dad actually helped me to And when you have a sick child, it's like the worst thing in the world. So I leaned into astrology, and it was my dad who helped me to, kind of learn about astrology, but also I became a predictive astrologer because predictive astrology helped me to time my daughter's seizures and to
Mm-hmm.
know like when I could breathe and when I would have to like lay low. And so astrology, I used it in my own life. Even though I grew up with it, it was in that dark time that I was pressurized to like use it to help me get out of a really dark period. And when my daughter got better, because she did get better, I, came onto something that I couldn't drop. And I ended up like diving in deeper. And I had a lot of people wanting to, come into their astrology and help me to, figure out their story for them. And it really just grew from there. So 14 years later, here I am. I have connected with people in over 32 countries. I'm very blessed that I'm
Yeah.
able to. I have Sagittarius moon. I'm a Pisces, Capricorn rising, and my moon is in Sagittarius. So I have been very lucky to connect with people all over the world and, connect to them for astrology consultations. I have my site. I do a lot of writing. I'm a big blogger, but I finally will have my own book be published this year, which I'm super excited
I
about.
know. I cannot wait for that.
And that's something that I'll be definitely be with you as we go along. And you will be privy to a lot of special information that others won't because the book is getting published while I'm going to be working with this group.
Yeah, I'm really
This is a
excited.
VIP kind of really, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, same. I know, me too.
And it's really, and very big on I'm a predictive astrologer, but I also am very in tune with mindfulness and using it's yes, the future is wonderful and believe me, I love to look at it as well, but I in order to really use it to our advantage or to be, to use it to be our best selves, we do need to be mindful and honor the present. And honoring the present means honoring our moon. And that was something that Randina and I really discussed that we want to bring to all of you. And I'm going to really help you understand your moon and your emotional fortress and how that is going to help you be your better self, understanding it, understanding what it means in your life. But then also what I'd like to do is through the progression of my own work, and again, I am an astrotherapist. I'm not just, people don't just, pop in. I deal with people in very intense situations in their life, and I have to, there's a lot of pressure to give them advice at these critical junctures.
Mhm.
The thing is that my work, because I deal with a lot of crisis and a lot of deep situations, I wanted to take my work into a deeper level. And so in around 2017 2018 I started to work with past life regression,
Mhm.
and I became certified. And that work has just really exploded for me. I didn't start it to, I honestly just thought it was going to be an additive that I was going to be using for
Yeah,
my
that's what
astrology
happened with me
client.
with NLP. I was like, I'm doing this to help my clients. I had no idea that it was really going to revolutionize my business.
Yeah, it didn't. I had no idea. And to be honest with you, I've experienced death. My brother passed away when I was 16. So I have always been fascinated with death, not because it's because it's part of the circle of
Yeah.
life.
Hmm.
And I was always intrigued by learning more about my story, more about the story that goes beyond just the here and the now. And when I started to work with past life, it really opened up this amazing door. And I finally realized why I have such a deep voice. It's so helpful with hypnosis.
It really is. I know, it really is. I
And
went
I
in
didn't
right
really
away, which was so
realize
awesome.
that, but my voice is really, I've been told that I have a really cool voice for hypnosis. And because I'm whimsical and a little bit, Uranian and outside the box, I always like to push the envelope, and just ordinary past life regression wasn't good enough for me. Because I'm an astrologer, I'm always thinking about things from a planetary standpoint.
Hmm.
So what I began to do is not only help people find what their past life connections are, but also connect them to their planetary influences.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, I could not believe that session that we had. It was like, it was like kind of last minute. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to be open and see what happens. And then after making the connections, I'm like, holy shit, Neptune in Sagittarius for me in my chart personally.
Yeah.
And then meeting
Yeah.
Neptune and healing that with my son. And since then, I have not been, I haven't had anxiety when he leaves the house. It's just kind of like, cool, I know we're here. I have a new level of understanding. And it's just like
Yeah.
amazing, the synchronistic experiences that you have and the connections that are made from the planetary alignments in your chart.
Yes. And so that I started to do that depth last year, and I worked with again, I created a whole bunch of different, I know the planets first. The planets are my mastery.
Mhm.
So I incorporated them into my hypnosis work.
Yeah, it's
And
genius.
I've gotten a lot of great feedback from it, and there's been a lot of healing that happened. And again, these are all things that I want to help to bring to you. So
Yeah, I'm
there's a
excited.
lot in store for us together. Like, we really have a journey. I'm excited about the journey.
So am I. I'm excited about the synchronicity, about the connection, about people really coming to that really deep understanding about their own life
Yeah.
story and their soul connection to their life map. You know, it really is such a map, especially I've been really diving into Chiron, you know,
Yeah.
and really tuning into the Chiron wounding and looking into that. And I just cannot believe how accurate it is from what I've experienced in my life. And
Yes.
it's like, wow, you know, at first it's like when I got into astrology, I had my astrology chart read years ago, and I couldn't believe that she knew the things that she knew about my mom and my dad. And I was just like, whoa, what is this? And me, what I was meant to do in the world, because that was all in there too. And so it was, you have to like sit on it and marinate on it. And then you start making the connections. And then when you get into, you know, your transit reports and you see like, holy shit, everything that it's saying is real. And so one of the things that I love about the predictive astrology that you do is that you help people to heal their challenges so that they can live the highest octave of whatever their transits are guiding them through.
Yeah. And again, like, my clients pen me an astrotherapist. It
Yeah.
came, quite a number of years ago. And
Mhm.
I'm not just about, you don't just really just check in with me to just talk about your future. It's really about, leaning into your energies and really kind of understanding how to use them to your benefit, because the fact of the matter is that we're all complicated. And it would be great to say that life is easy, and there's a lot of like, but there's a lot of challenges, and there's a lot of energies that we feel, and to understand where all of that's coming from and how we can work with our planetary energies versus working against them,
Mhm.
it just kind of is a life changer. Especially, and again, it starts with the moon. It's always, the moon is your emotional fortress. And if you think about how you feel and how you are driven and how where you want to go in life, like, you always need to feel it in order to do it. And so by learning more about your emotional fortress, we can go so far with that.
Yeah. Yeah, let's dive into it just a little bit so that people can kind of understand what it means, because I know we all know what our sun sign is, and some of us know what our moon sign is. I don't think people really understand the importance of the moon in the emotion, because being feminine, especially, we manifest and we attract based off the energy that we're emitting, and we have deep emotional connection to, our womb and receiving and all of these things. So if we're just living life and we're not understanding the important aspects of who we are, it makes it really challenging to manifest.
Yeah. Well, and I think something that we need to just understand about our moon is that there's 12 different flavors. So some of us are emotional creatures and some of us are not, and that's okay. But understanding your moon sign can really give you some indicators as to the flavor of your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
When we when we think about the people that we want to connect to, or the people that we work with, when we their moons, it can really help us understand, oh, that's why they're not a hugger, or that's why
Right.
they're not always telling me the things I want to necessarily hear. Like, it can really allow us to appreciate others and just know that they're not bad. It's just, that's just not the way they're made up. That's just, I call it your astrological DNA.
Yeah, it really helps in parenting too. And in all relationships, right? I noticed with my children, because I understand their moons, they're both Scorpio moon. So I understand them, sometimes they need to withdraw, and it's not personal.
Yeah.
If you don't know these things, these aspects of people, it's easy to take things personal and have it connect to your own trigger wounding, your trigger points. But when you understand it deeply, it's like, oh, okay, they're built differently, right? They're under different influences. And when my son, he's having like a day where he might be raging, kind of angry, and like not knowing what to do with all his emotion, I'm like, okay, what's going on in his transit report? And it's like, oh, okay, well, this is what's happening, or it's a full moon in his sign, things like that. So it makes it easier in interpersonal relationships, to
I
know that.
mean, and just, I'm a mother too. I have 2 children of my own, and our children are not born with maps, but at the same time they are. And I, just like I told you about how I use my daughter's chart in the early stages, I still use both of their charts
Yeah,
all the time.
same.
And it really kind of helps me to understand them, and
Yeah.
also really, just kind of understand like how, because it's not just about what sign their moon is in, and this is for us too, it's how the moon was talking to other planets when you were born, because some of our moons express themselves very beautifully, and some of our moons are they don't like to express themselves, even
Mhm.
if they're in the best sign in the world.
Yeah.
But and that's also helpful for people to understand that, wow, it's not just about, the sign it's in, it's how it's talking to other planets.
Yeah.
I was with a client last night, and his moon touched Pluto. And
Oh,
Pluto is the planet of the underworld, the
right.
planet of death, and also resurrection.
Mhm.
And when I explained that to him, it like totally, it made his life made so much sense, because he's experienced so much loss
Mhm.
with females in his life. So again, it's not just about your sign of your moon, but it's also how that moon is talking to other planets. And from a mother perspective, for those of you that have children, it's really insightful to know your children's moon signs, because
Mhm.
um, you know it's like how that's how they see you. I had a session this morning with a mother in the UK, and we were looking at both of her toddlers, and one toddler had a Leo moon and one toddler had an Aquarius moon, totally different,
Yeah.
sides of the street, but she's the same woman.
Yeah.
And we were discussing like, and if you just think about you're still you, but your children are experiencing you different. So that's another.
Exactly. It reminds me of that Don Miguel Ruiz when in the book The Fifth Agreement. Like if you haven't read that yet, I highly recommend it. And he talks about a mother, right? And he talks about a mother, and she's trying to do the best she can, and her children are each viewing her experience differently. Like in one movie, because he's setting it up in a tone of movie theater. So one child has their own movie theater, and they're seeing from this perspective and their interaction with their mom. And then the next child's in another movie theater, and we're seeing, the interaction with the mom from his perspective. And his perspective was that she wasn't paying attention to him. And the sister's perspective was that, she was busy, but always attentive to her. And then the mom's perspective is, I'm doing the best I can, trying to delegate all of it. So it was interesting to see that you can be the same person and have completely different experiential relationships with other people. It really was amazing.
Yeah, no, it and again, your astrology can really
Yeah.
kind of shine a light on that. But the other thing that is important about your moon is that, it's getting activated all throughout your life.
Mhm.
But I will probably, like, just because I'm a predictive astrologer, and I also am watching the transits closely, because that's just part of my work.
Yeah.
We probably will discuss as we go along in the months, okay, these moon signs are probably going to be really feeling a
Mhm.
lot of energy right now, or, there's going to be some triggers, and in order for things to happen, your moon needs to be, kind of jerked a little bit. And that's
Yeah.
because once we feel things emotionally, and it's not always comfortable, I totally
I know.
relate to that, but it's
Yeah.
like things can happen
Yeah.
as when they get triggered. So that's something
Yeah.
else that I'll probably bring into the mix as well.
That's great. I'm excited for that. I know in my own experience also in working with my clients, the triggering is necessary because we live our lives, you know, in comfortability. It's like if we're comfortable, you know, we'll stay. And when we have desires that are, you know, where they're strong desires or things that we're compelled to because maybe there's some placements coming up or whatever, so that we want to fulfill these certain types of things. If we aren't being triggered in that way, we don't move. You know, so
Mm.
it's kind of like going into the underworld, transmuting, and then coming out, knowing how to do that. It just makes you so much more apt at it. So you don't get stuck. It doesn't become a stacked trauma. You know, it's kind of like you're working through these experiences as they come rather than letting it, you know, get to 10 years later and now you got to go back and do some healing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's, and that's why the moving planets are constantly, you know, triggering us. And again, we're all on our own, you know, time cycle, our own timeline, but it is helpful to know that these things are around us. Or I can't tell you how many times I've had people tell me, oh my God, I have felt so crazy. I felt so out of control. But now that you've explained what's going on, it really allows me to just kind of breathe a little bit easier and know, like, I'm not crazy. There is, you
Yeah.
know, this is happening for a reason. And I know that conceptually, a lot of us know that, like, everything is happening for a reason. But when, like, this is why I love the planets, because they are scientific. There's a, I will show you visually what I look at. My real legitimate birth name is Crystal. It's on my birth certificate,
Yeah.
but I don't look at in a crystal ball. I look at the planets, the
Yeah.
planetary alignments.
Yeah, it's like there is a reason to everything, and we all kind of know that on a surface level. And knowing these things, especially about the moon and other planetary placements, that it tells you the reason. You know, that's one of the things that I love about it. Is like, oh, this is like, I know this is happening for a reason. I don't know what's the reason, and then it's like, oh, this is the reason. You know.
Right, right, and but it just brings it. It really brings it to light. There's other, and again, as we go along, um and I'll probably, you know, I'll probably gauge it with the energies in play, because that's how I like to do the regression work. Like, I like to match it up with the energies in
There's your
play,
energy.
because
Yeah.
like for right now, everybody, just so you know, Uranus is very active. Uranus is the planet of awakenings. He's the planet of, you know, he shakes us. He gives us important downloads. He is actually stationing right now,
Wow.
stationing direct. He's getting ready to turn direct. So whatever anybody is doing now, it's important, because once he goes direct, all the planets will be going direct until the end of the month. So
That
what we're
does.
doing now is so important for your year ahead. And like, you're grabbing tools to, you know, there's like little sprinkles coming around you, and sometimes they come in, like, Uranus is a lightning bolt. So maybe they're coming in, you know, flashes, or maybe it is a little uncomfortable, but there are signs coming out at you now with Uranus turning. And so anyway, why did I bring that up? It's because as I develop the, you know, the special past life regressions that we're going to do together, matching it with the energies, just so it just allows us to, you know, kind of encounter that planet even stronger. Wasn't, you know, meaningful out there in the skies at this moment.
Yeah, it's really important to know, especially with everything coming, you know, it was like intuitively, psychically, you know, all these energies. It was like I was explaining to people 2020 is going to be probably one of the most intense years that we've all experienced collectively. Like we just kind of like knew something was coming, and then 2020 hit and it was like, holy shit, all the astrology has been saying this for so long, you know, and here it is, now we're dealing with it. And you know, 2021, same thing, certain astrological alignments are occurring. So it's not only affecting us collectively, it's affecting us individually as well. And so when you arm yourself with the knowledge, you can be part of that group that creates a new heaven on earth, right? Like a new reality, a new experience, building a new society so that we can move forward. So it's important that light workers really know this, they really, really grasp it. They really understand it. They really have the transformational tools to do this, not only in their own life, but also collectively, because it's so needed right now. We're watching the deconstruction of what is going on in our society right now, which Nostradamus actually called the fall of the Red Schoolhouse, is what he called it. No one really knew what he was talking about at that point in time. And so now we're here and we're watching all this happen, especially today. It's just this morning of what's going on in Congress right now. And I'm like, okay, at first I'm like, maybe I need to move the dates. Maybe we should start a little bit later. And then it was like, no, like you have to stay on track with this. So even you talking about Uranus and what it's setting you up, I'm like, okay, we have to stay on track with this. It's like, distract yourself from all the craziness that's going on and come back and focus on your life experience, because the micro is going to be what changes the macro.
So true. I'm so with you. And that's exactly how I feel too. This is not a moment to hide. This is not a moment to not think about the importance of it and how we're living it together. And there's a lot of change around us. And we see it outside, but it's happening to us on a personal level too. People are pushing their own envelope, and we're going to see that even more. And maybe this is your chance to push your own envelope. You know what I mean? Like, I've been talking to people about this for quite a number of months, like the building. And now that it is, Uranus is moving direct, as I was saying, like, it's just such an opportune time to push your own envelope, to, and you could really, even though so many of us are in quarantine or behind closed doors, there, we can still use this time to our advantage. We
should be using it to our advantage.
And to reset our, this is astrologically, we worked through a lot of our demons last year in 2020. Mm-hmm. Now, with all of the Aquarius energy that's around us, we should really be ready to let that go and moving on into something. We need to reframe your story this year. Right. So this is like something that's exciting about, understanding your emotions and your inner, like with the past life regression work I do, this is connecting you to your subconscious. Maybe there are ties that you need to cut, things that maybe you're harboring that you don't even realize. Getting in tune with those things, becoming aware of them, letting them go, like all of this can help you become lighter, because Aquarius energy, even though we're not all Aquarians, is very strong right now, and it will be for 2021. And that is a much lighter, freer sign than all the Capricorn that we had in 2020. So there's something out there in the universe that's saying it's time to get a little freer. It's time to free up, to kind of come out of your cage and not restrict yourself anymore.
Yeah. And also the, unity essence that comes with it. It's like groups, collaboration, coming together, doing it, with each other is, even just the basic teachings of quantum physics, it's like a mastermind is much more powerful than just an individual mind.
Yes.
And so it's like, it just kind of is all meshing. It's like the time is just set up right now for winning,
Well, it is. And just speaking of the collective, I believe very strongly in group energy. I do. I see, to be honest with you, I love doing past life regression in group. Yeah. Sometimes even more than the one-on-ones, because the energy becomes stronger. Yep. I can't tell you, and I don't know if anybody's joining us that knows each other or you've been connected, but when you enter a group like this and you go into these states, like you can discover even, that you're in alignment together, or, like there's such a wonderful thing about the collective, about having other people, like-minded people. Yeah. And it's not about being in a room together. Our energy is connected right now.
Yeah. It gives you like a strength and a power that you do not have when you're out in the world individually. Like that's one of the things that I've noticed too with the group work that I do, which is why I decided that courses is going to be where it's at for a little while, because it is about that collective energy. There's just so much beautiful momentum. And whenever I kickstart again and I start again, I literally get so many messages about people saying, whenever I'm in this space and doing this, so many things just manifest for me like crazy. It's crazy. You know, it's like, and then you learn more from each other too. So you can even expand your consciousness even more, because you go through the, you know, the group discussion after a session, and it's like, wow, so many different things. I mean, you're just upgrading at such a quick level. It literally is rapidly transforming your life, which is why I love it.
Yeah. And I see the results of it all the time. And again, it's especially in these times right now, I know there's there's a lure to seclude, but just because we're behind closed doors doesn't mean we can't connect to people. The
Right.
connections right now are there, they are fruitful.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many of them. And to find your right tribe, to
Yeah.
find, and there's so much, like, again, I'm just excited to be a part of this. I feel excited about it. I'm going to be I'm going to be working with you as I launch a book, over 14 years of information in it. So
I
it's
know.
just very exciting for me to you know, begin to work with you in this group, to, you know, in this group setting.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited too. We have so much to look forward to. So is there anything else you would like to add? Anything you want them to know?
No, I think you all have gotten to know a little bit about me. You'll get to know a lot more about me as we go along. I love to keep things simple. I know astrology can be super complicated, but I like to bring it down to a meaningful and fun. Like I'd
Yeah.
like to have a little fun too, and I'm a little quirky, but that's okay. I
Yeah.
heart. But I also am, I'm just very excited to be with everybody and to talk about my favorite, you know, topic, the moon.
Yeah, I'm so glad not only that I met you, but that I get to share you with so many amazing women too, because it is fun, you know. And I was even deciding, I'm like, okay, if I'm doing this one, we're having more fun, because the courses that I've done in the past have been deep healing, like
Okay.
deep wound healing. And not that we're not going to be touching on that and healing through that this time, because it's part of life. It's
Yes.
just, I wanted to have more fun. I wanted to laugh more. I wanted to, you know, be more engaging. And so it was funny, because Julie, one of the women in the group, she was like, is she going to make it elementary level? And I was like, you know,
Yes.
that is one of the things I love about her. She's so scientific and like down to earth logical, that she explains things in a way that fucking makes sense. And it's like how I am when I explain things, you know. It's like, let's all understand this. You don't have to go read a book or look up what this means or that
Right.
means. Like, we're all going to understand this together. So I'm really excited, and thank you so much for being here. So for those of you who are moving forward with us, is the day one, and then we're going to go into a meet your moon session on 222, right? That's what we're going to do, is go in and have a session for that. And so that's going to be so exciting and just so full of fun. And then in between there, we're going to be learning about the moon phases and how they apply to you, and, you know, popping in and giving you some rising from the ashes tools, and just everything that we're going to be doing. So I'm excited for everybody, and I thank you for being here. And everyone else, look out for that. I will be posting the link pretty soon. The video series is coming up today, so I am going to post the video series in the course, or in the group's group, so that you can click on that and watch it. And that talks about your life themes. It touches on your astrology, and there's a soul purpose discovery process in there, which you'll find after you do it actually links to your birth chart, and it will all make sense. So it's so amazing, and I'm so happy that we have you. Thank you so much. I send everyone so much love, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Everybody, bye-bye. Thank you.